Hi everyone, congratulations on making your first move to know and start planning for your future regardless of your age background. First and foremost, I am Han, a real estate advisor for the past 11 years and has assisted many of my clients into achieving their dreams in real estate in Singapore. However, if you wish to have a personalized proposal for yourself, all you have to do is going back to your messenger and leave me your contact details in order for my team to assist you with a private exclusive arrangement with me seamlessly. Or what you can do is either SMS or WhatsApp me at my direct number at 8168-2313, 8168-2313. So, as I had spoken to you about discovering the best step for your real estate journey, and when should one start planning their journey so as to achieve their plans as smooth as possible. I hope you stay towards the end as I will be sharing with you one of the biggest dreams of many of us, that is a multi-property owner and retiring with a passive income. Let's look at this typical journey of most Singaporeans. Usually we buy our first home at the age of 30 years old. And as there is no more executive apartment, most of us settle down for 4 or 5 room BTO flat, which we have to hold for at least 5 years before we can make any move to sell the property. And by that time, we are already 35 years old. Usually most of us resort to buy resale property due to wanting to stay near one's parents and obtaining the proximity housing grant, which only Singaporean is privileged to obtain. So they continue their plans, and most likely the property that they are purchasing would be in the average age of 25 years old with either a second HDB loan or a bank loan, and part of the cash proceeds are used for renovations. Most of them find that after which to make another move is not as realistic as the first one, as the amount of cash proceed is relatively low, or some none, to compare with the first house from BTO that they are able to obtain between 150 to 300,000. Hence, most would continue to stay up to the age of 54. Why 54? Simply reason is because once reach the age of 55, retirement account in CPF will be established, and usually whatever balance in the ordinary account will be transferred over to your retirement saving and lock. Also, some may hit by the valuation limit withdrawal, not able to utilize the CPF ordinary account for mortgage repayment. So this is when most start to plan to sell and utilize their CPF saving before hitting 55 years old, before they are left with no choice and almost no cash saving in hand after 55 years. Please do keep in mind, the age of the property is also aging, which the balance list is lower than 60 years, which also means that demand for such flat is relatively low, as the utilizations of the new buyer's CPF is restricted. Well, although some may do their movements before 55, but most are also left with almost zero cash retirement saving for the rest of the entire 30 years retirement life, up to an average of maybe 84 years old of Singapore lifespan statistics. This is why we can witness many elderly is still working today, as they are not exposed to this back then during their peak age. Well, after hearing to the first typical timeline, I am very certain that many of you have a better plans which may look something like this. Since the first move is the right move, why not we replicate those movements? Let's buy another BTO. We hold it for another 19 years before we make another move, which is just before 55 years old, at the age of 54. Cash out, settle down to something which is lower quantum, which means smaller unit, and have the balance as retirement saving. But do you know, most of these movements will only help you to obtain $70,000 that you have to spend minimally for the entire of your remaining 30 years, which sum up to $2,005 per year and $7 a day. With the inflation in place in the future, is $7 realistic to live with daily? I don't think so. So is there a better way to plan for this? Absolutely. It is actually fine to have those first movement as planned as an ideal retirement plan. But after cashing out from the first home, that's where it's very important to utilize the funds properly for the next purchase with a higher potential return, such as ECs. Why is this so? It is a privilege only Singaporeans can buy at a subsidized amount with a full condominium facilities of up to 30% difference from private condominium. It is like a bridge for most Singaporeans to obtain a private property. So, after obtaining them, we must also understand when one should exit. Some may want to exit at an early stage as not to miss with more opportunity just after MOP, which is in average of 8 years from the day they book the ECs. And by that time, we are already in our early 40s. So what's next? Should we have an early settlement for retirement? Well, as we are still in our peak age, which is 30 to 45 years old, I would strongly encourage to utilize those funds for higher potential returns like new launches, private condominium, and diversify those investment into two. One for own stay and the other as a passive saving via rental yield to sustain by itself. Also, we are supposed to be very wary when to exit to cash out to fully pay one for own stay with some retirement saving of an average close to $1 million, which is very sound for retirement cash saving in hand to spend in the spread of 30 years. One can always consider replicating the movement as long as their financial capabilities allows them that for that balance of 50 for that balance years up to 55 years old. Would there be any other better option? Well, there is, but it may not be applicable to all. However, looking at the median income level of age 30 years today, I believe there's a huge percentile of them is able to do so. Only most are too conscious of overcommitting themselves in a bigger quantum of loan. However, just have a look at what are the potential that may you miss. Alright, let's look at this dream timeline. First step is keeping your purchase of BTO and straight away obtaining an EC, which is, as a first timer, you will be provided grants up to $30,000 as more privilege subsidies on purchasing those properties. Of course, there are more eligibility conditions that one has to abide before able to achieve all those above. Moving forward, making their first move from it to utilize the funds to higher potential returns again, like new launch private condominium, and diversify those investment into two, one for own stay and the other as a passive saving via rental yield to sustain by itself. Now, we are still in our late 30s and the potential is still wide. Huge option to take. After which, by replicating with a retirement home secure and multiple properties invested sustaining via itself from the tenants, it's a peace of mind. By this time, we are already either in our early 40s or late 40s, which we can always consider replicating those movements again or retire as a full-time landlord that most of us dream of. Not working but generating income a lifetime. Also, you don't have to make any movement at this moment from your retirement dream home to cash out for a smaller one. The saving that you will be able to obtain is infinite. So, after hearing all this sharing that I have delivered to you, I am very certain you will agree with me that real estate and retirement plans start right from the beginning, from the first step into purchasing your first property. And the path it leads you to is either fulfilling your retirement plans or otherwise. You might just be the many of those that is able to achieve greater heights for your old age. Why not having a short discussion on which timeline suits you well and what could be the best option for you to take today? All you have to do is going back to your messenger and leave me your contact details in order for me and my team to assist you with a private exclusive arrangement with me seamlessly. Or you can always either SMS or WhatsApp me at 8168-2313, 8168-2313. That is me, Ejen Han, signing off. Bye-bye.